Welcome everybody to day 2 of the second week of the Gold Team League. Going to be between IG Sif and LF Bleau in this one. Both teams went 1-1 last week, with XC showing up for IG for the first time and playing some generous mummies, which I wasn't overly happy about, but we shall see. And last week as well, Lucky Future Yuying managed to get the 1 win, 1 loss, and did seem to be playing well. Let's see which team ends up coming out on top this week. So IG have brought the Demon Hunter, which is banned, the Rogue, the Warrior, and the Warlock. It's a Galakron Warlock and a Secret Rogue for them. For Lucky Future, you can see the Warrior has been banned, the Demon Hunter, the Rogue, and the Galakron Priest do survive. And it is the Galakron Priest with which Bleau has opened up. Worth noting that it is on both sides, actually. One is banned. It is the Priestess version of Demon Hunter. And we are seeing a lot more non-warrior bans in the Gold Team Championship than we are in the Western Grandmasters. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on whether the warrior is as good as we think it is. But so far, it has seemed to be pretty good. So Priest versus Rogue, get yourselves a cup of coffee and some popcorn, because this one tends to go the distance. Very much, to me at least, a value matchup. There are times when you're the attacker, there's times when you're the defender, but in general, if you don't get it done early as the Rogue, the whole match or the whole game, it becomes a humongous grind. So dig deep and let's see if your favourites can get it done. Let's see if I can get that mess off the screen for you as well. There you go. So nothing too crazy happening at the start, thank goodness, because if it happens at the start, I am dead by the end when there are lots of random stuffs going on. And already a decision to make for Bleau. When does he want to use this Sethek Veil Weaver that he has just picked up? Absolutely no hurry, of course. So Madame Lazul played early here, trying to snipe an opposing Galakron, most likely. I think I might have liked to see that played a little bit later. The Rogue likes to play Galakron going into turn 7. And they do tend to empty their hand a little bit before that. But obviously, Bleau just prioritising occupying the board, and Madame Lazul, a good way of doing that. And one of the problems with Rogue here, although there's a massive decision of whether do you want to go for this Edwin or not, right away here for Sif. Probably not straight away, but playing Miscreant into Edwin. Of course, that gives your opponent one more time to pick up the time rip. But if you do go for the Edwin now, you might just win the game. But the problem is, you probably won't, and he knows that. So instead, he's just going about his normal roguey business of getting cards and fiddling around and making sure to have control of the board at the end of every turn.
It's good to see you.
At the end of this game, it will be whoever has got the best value out of all of their cards that wins it. There will be a lot of random generation as it goes on if it gets towards the end. The Rogue making lackeys, and of course the Priest making minions. You would tend to think that the minions would come out on top there, but it's close. Lackeys make other things. Rogue generally has better tempo and value minions. Rogue has the Togwaggle, Rogue has the Galakron. Plenty of things can happen here. Another reason not to play Lazul early would be to try and maybe play after a Togwaggle. Try and steal their wondrous wand. So Sif has to work out right now what he wants to use this coin for, and he's in no hurry. Just going to continue doing his things. Both sides almost just setting up their shop at the moment. Nobody's really trying to do anything. They're just digging in for the long haul. One thing that Blue in particular has to be concerned about, or at least pay attention to, is after he plays his Galacrond, he'll struggle to empty his hand. Priest minions can be at least medium expensive. So if you're spending 2 mana every turn creating one, and then maybe 5 mana playing one, you're not left with much mana, you tend to get a full hand. And to get the most out of your value, you never want to miss a tap. So sometimes you want to play a card maybe 80% of value, maybe it doesn't quite come down at exactly the right time for its job, but it means you can get another card, and 2 80% value cards are better than just one card. Alright, so Sif has decided the time is right to test the waters, see if Edwin will stick. Well, I say that and then he's held back, but I don't think he's going to get a better chance. The longer the game goes, the more prepared Blue will be for such things. This does play into Time Rip and Shadow of Death, but as it stands, it's looking a little bit awkward. Not at all a comfortable situation. So, that made the decision as to when to play the Sethek a little bit easier. Going to get into discovering things mode. Thought Steel, but Powered Shield's another great pickup. Just a redraw. Yeah, and Sif's fidgeting here. You can see this might end up going badly. So many naught mana things. Still no death. Apotheosis. Blue is really on the hunt here, trying to desperately find a way into this. It's a Holy Ripple, which isn't really what he wants. It actually is fantastic in some ways, but no. Taking 14 is not fantastic in any way. Has managed to set it up though, so that next turn there's a very strong chance that Blue can clear this up. Just put my false teeth back in. There we go. And Sif doesn't want to miss out on a chance to do 14 to face here. But does also need to be aware that it probably won't get the job done. And there is an opportunity to make tons of value here. But I think 14 is just too much to waste. So how can he deal with the Sethek? He needs to do that. Alright, you can gain some health if you want. I'm going to hit you for 14 and you're going to deal with it. There you go, wear that one, Sunshine. Yeah, and that hurts. And so level 2 Galacrond, there's a 50-50 chance of killing the Edwin. And now there's a 100% chance of killing the Edwin because Blue's going to trade into 2 of these minions. And Galacrond will pick off the other 2. Okay, 3 and 1. Whatever. I thought it said level 2. I thought level 2 did 2. And now the game has changed completely on its head. Blue now the one issuing the beats. Double Thought Steal surprisingly nice as well. And Sif did put quite a lot into that Edwin, but not a huge amount. Like you can see, he didn't go crazy with it. You have to spend some time now fighting back into the game. One of the reasons this is often a long matchup, like I suggested at the start, get your popcorn, is because neither side's really capable of going for that killer blow. That's why going for the Edwin made sense. You don't get many chances to do an early knockout punch, as the decks do tend to counter each other out. But if he had landed 2 hits with it, how amazing it would have been. Just game over. But the upshot of that is he's now got to spend a few turns just getting back in control, as Blue did manage to get some semblance of board. Soul Mirror, that will be nurtured gratefully for a large chunk of the game until the exact right moment. And this could go all the way to fatigue, and often will. We're very close. So still 19 more cards left each, although the rogue number of cards will start to come down with Galacrons and Togwaggles and all that good stuff. If the rogue doesn't die. Because this is now beyond a little bit irritating and into, oof, this board is quite good. Gets his level 3 Galacron, gets his 4 cards, gets his weapon. Okay, Blackjack Stunner's going to come in handy as soon as that secret's there, which it is. Return this annoying Sethek and all of the buffs it is containing. Weapon takes down the 5/5, and we're back to grindy mode. All the early emergencies on both sides have been snuffed out. Good ordering, making sure he knows everything about what's going on before hitting the Fate Weaver. Doesn't seem overly keen with this, but there's worse picks you can get. He's gone for Brightwing. He feels... It's almost like he's trying to get lucky. I didn't mind them, but maybe he looks at that as an opportunity to get some really big stuff going on. Priest does generate huge chunky things. I think one of the misconceptions about Priest is how much removal it has. It has an annoying amount of removal, but it doesn't have crazy, as removal is drawn, it doesn't have crazy amounts. It's not like old school Control Warrior, where they just kill everything. Yeah, the Priest does have to mete out its removal, and spends a lot of time more killing things like this. You see the issue that Blue's having here, emptying their hand. There's so much value in this deck, it does become difficult to clean stuff up. Would you like a 1/7 cat, sir? Because with Amet and Pharaoh cat, that is available. Flick Skyshift's quite an important steal at this point. Yeah, just seen a striking face. Trying to make some space. And already Blue has missed a tap. Hand space issues, couldn't tap because they would have overdrawn. And in a game where you're going all the way to fatigue and you haven't... Well, he has got quite a lot of his good stuff, but hasn't got all of his good stuff yet. You don't want to overdraw. Although, to be fair, if it goes to fatigue, Sif's going to be miles into fatigue by the time Blue matters. Well, Sif going for this really irritating wide board. There's the Generous Mummy. His teammate XC had me ranting last week when he played Generous Money. Oh my goodness. If you want to become a caster, the first step is don't learn how to speak, apparently. His teammate XC played a Generous Mummy in 2 consecutive games, once as a priest and once as a rogue, and both of them were catastrophic, and both of them, taking away caster vision, taking away any bias or anything like that, were obviously going to be catastrophic. And I will be interested to see if Sif has learned from XC's terrible experience, because Generous Mummy, you have to think about it. Should I play this? And if the answer is yes, don't play it. And if the answer is no, definitely don't play it. Even thinking about it put me into that spot there. As Blue gets his own Generous Mummy. And now they've both got this problem. And you can see the dilemma. Do you want to make your opponent's hand 9 mana cheaper? No, you don't. Okay, that wasn't hard. Lesson over. And we can move on with the game. Hope you enjoyed that public service announcement. So ranting aside about the card, you might want to play it as a last resort when you get to the very end of the game and both players have used up all their removal and all their good options. Then yes, sure, we'll have a 5/4 you can just squeeze in at the end of a turn. That'd be lovely, thanks. So that was an interesting decision whether to play this or not, because he had to weigh up how much of his deck will steal any of the rogue cards, what's the chance of getting a secret, as opposed to getting a card out of his hand now and just having a 1/5. And I like that he was willing to dump this. It feels like, oh no, but if I get a secret I get so much good stuff. But first of all, the secrets aren't that great, and secondly, what are you going to do with them? Like, you need the hand space to get real proper good minions. And the Generous Mummy is actually a big fly in the ointment for that one. Like, you've almost lowered your hand size in a deck that already has a low hand size. Making that big board to once again try and threaten Bleu's health total. So far not really got anywhere there. Edwin has been undone already, and that's the problem with Priest. Interesting how little he's willing to mess around here. Like, the Natalie could be saved for much bigger use than this, but it's what I was talking about earlier about the prioritising of just making sure your minions do something. And that's a minion that did something. Could have saved it for value, could have used it for a lot more value later on, taking down the big dragon, for instance, in the hand, but not willing to mess about with that. And I like this. I think the way to get the most value is to actually make sure you play a lot of cards. Not necessarily make sure you play fewer cards and get absolute maximum out of it. Might be an interesting time for a Soul Mirror. Cairns on each side might favour Bleu. He doesn't know about the Nazari, of course, which will reset the health totals and mess with a lot of plans. Yeah. Amet, Soul Mirror. This is like the combo that Priest is looking to get a lot of the time. Not going to be the best ever one. Obviously it's fantastic if all your opponent's minions say 4/4s and you turn yours into 4/7s. That's when it goes absolutely nutty. But clearly this is fine right now. Puts him in a very good spot. Again, just taking cheap cards that he can play. Against Rogue, there'd be a huge temptation to take a second Breath of the Infinite there. But he's only got one, and it's just going to sit in his hand, so he's making his game plan extremely clear here. And that is just to keep rolling along, playing cards. Obviously as well, from where he's sat, he's setting up a lethal here. He's not really necessarily overly worried about the long game, but still sticking to that just in case. He'll be expecting Malagos to give him a fantastic position. Sif can't do a whole lot here. And obviously he's thinking Nazari at the end of the turn, but you've got to get rid of Amet or you'll never get rid of anything ever again. So that's kind of forced on you. Healing up to 30 is kind of forced on you. And then, yeah, this is the part that you have some choice in the matter. And bumping into a 3-4 seems pretty reasonable when you then do it the easy way. And just, yeah, take a deep inhale because you're going to take a lot of damage on this backswing. So that's going to be a 12-mana Nazari. And so that's now a generous mummy and a Nazari cluttering up Sif's hand. One literally unplayable and one you've got to be brave to play. And he's going to overdraw next turn, of course. Are you going to get a better flick than this? Well, probably not. It's worth thinking about, like he hesitated there, in case you get to thin your opponent's deck out of an important card, but the important cards are Togwaggle and Galakond, and neither of those really matter, because as you can see, Galakond's already in play. So, Kronks is where your eye is naturally drawn when your opponent has a massive board like this that needs taking care of. But it's not really taking care of it, it's doing a reasonable job. But this Soul Mirrored Cairn has made a huge problem here for Sif. Yeah, he's having to double Kronks. Obviously large chunks of value, but he is running out of things to value with. Probably going to try and get Togwaggle down sooner rather than later with only 9 cards left. Will Blue continue to just dump things on the board? Yeah, and another turn where he didn't get a tap. But he's trying so hard to empty his hand. Feels a little bit difficult for the Rogue running uphill, but he's not drawn anything great from the lackeys yet. He needs a big spell or a big dragon to really swing this one around. And he's going to get plenty of time to try and do that. I mean, it's what the deck does. It draws lackeys and turns them into value. But as it stands, Blue does seem to be in control, might be pushing it just slightly, but doing pretty well. Oh, and we see Sif generate a chunk of value. We already saw him go for a Brightwing earlier when he got offered some value dragons, so he feels that his deck just doesn't win this matchup, and that's a contentious point, but that's what he's going with. So yeah, turning his hand into this, and it's worked out pretty well for him. Like the highlights being being Tyrion and Crush, obviously. But yeah, feeling that his collection of nothing wasn't going anywhere fast. Really rare choice there. But it could be a good one. He's got a handful of minions that are definitely better than Blue's minions. It's going to take him a little while to establish them. Just one a turn for the next few turns. Constantly worried about the threat of your minions being stolen as well. With Shadow Madness, so we'll look to dump some of the big ones. I like the idea of Tyrion here, but I can see that it's possible I'm overlooking things. There's so much stuff generated by your opponent that it can just get very, very complicated here. And all the time he has to bear in mind, his health total is shrunk down to 16. Yep, I think this is correct. And I think this is the correct reply. Looking for a polymorph. 8 damage fireball, you take that. Not because it's going to necessarily win you the game right now, although it might do, but the threat is constantly there now. And Sif is not able to populate the board quickly because all of his hands are 9 mana legendaries. Altruist actually will never be better than it is right now. I guess it could be, but it would be a long, long way from now. Sif looking for even better things. And that's not a better thing. It's just more things. He must sense that he's dead next turn. I'm not even sure how he survives. Like, even if he sees the hand now from this point onwards. Like, even King Kush doesn't work now. As a defender, not even talking about hitting someone with it. I think Altruist Clear was available actually. If you use your weapon, that would have kept you alive, but just building a board and hoping there is no Malygos Fireball, and he is going to be disappointed. Because there it is. Blue takes a 1-0 lead for Lucky Future. Sif shakes his head sadly. See there the lineups. The banned decks were Demon Hunter on the side of IG and the almost ever-present Warrior on the side of LF. It's his last hero standing, for those of you wondering why the Priest is back for more. This is... I was just about to say, this isn't Quest Warlock, right? This is Galakon Warlock, and there's a Galakon in his hand and no Quest. This, Lorinda, is the clues you are looking for. So yep, Galakon Warlock versus the Priest. Another grind fest. But this time the Priest does have to struggle a little bit with dealing with a lot of big things later on in the piece. Blue unable to do anything exciting, so it is back to Madame Lazul. Where does he want to go? How aggressive does he want to be? Is the main question here. Nope, going defensive. Taking a Mortal Coil. Presumably try and dig for Galakon. And just get to his good stuff in general. It's a big pickup though. Yep, just straight up. Allows him to go for that. More penalties where that came from now. But Sif has the luxury of being able to tap against Priest. Priest obviously having basically nothing it can do. At least for now. Kind of turns on its head a little bit later on when all the Warlock's plan is to hit you with an Alexstrasza and 15 you in one turn. It's a long way between here and there. And Sif, now he's finished filling up his hand, gonna start powering up that Galakon. Digging through his deck as quickly as possible. Sif doing the same thing. Dark Skies, pretty big deal here. Because Esports, otherwise he could just Apotheosis up and start smashing away. Could be pretty amusing. There is no Dark Skies present in the hand. And does he just want to do a million things this turn? If so, he has to go very quickly now with the Sether. Yeah. I like this. Just instantly recognising he wants to do things. Not quite sure what things he wants to do. And so starts just spraying spells everywhere. So he has time to think if a difficult decision comes up. It's basically Lyra, except it's a Lyra that peters out very quickly. Getting a little bit difficult now, but Plague of Flames will deal with this. Scared of what he wants to sacrifice, really. He won't have, like, he's got the double Plague of Flames in hand, so he won't have many occasions where he has to face down a board even this big, I wouldn't have thought. Not for a long time. See how he goes about trying to protect it, if he does at all. Wow. And actually going for the sack pact now on the demons before the Plague of Flames. I guess there's very little other use for it, but Priest can generate dormant creatures, which are demons, but that's a lot later on and pretty irrelevant. So yeah. Sif trying to live in the present. Oh! Morozond overdrawn. That's a big deal. Don't get to have that amazing turn that can happen. Well, he's just seen a Plague of Flames. So he's going to try and set up a situation where he just starts winning next turn with Apotheosis. There is another Plague of Flames, we can see that, of course. Where's the difficulty here? I just want to steal some stuff. Okay. Holy Smite, not the card it used to be. These days it's just a 1 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion. Pretty good control spell, but miss the days when it used to go face. Actually, there were so many horrible decks came about because of that. Maybe I don't miss them so much. Now Sif's game plan is starting to come to fruition a little bit. He knows where he wants to be. All he needs to do is get 15 on the board, onto an empty board, Alex Strauss his opponent and attack for 15. And he can't even at the moment get hold of the board, let alone all those good things I just said. This is where Quest Warlock became a big deal. Around this time that this game took place in Grandmasters, people started bringing the Quest Warlock to take care of Priests. Priests got a bit excitable, and this must be the same week. There's so many Priests this week in the Gold Team Championship. And then the week after, what happened, again in Western Grandmasters, is loads of people went with the Quest Warlock, which is so good against those Priests. The weird thing is everybody knew it was coming, and so nobody bought the Priest anyway. So we got into this slightly cyclic meta game. Soul Mirror for blue doesn't really do much, and he knows it. He sort of reached for it and then repositioned himself for another thing. Oh, there must be something better, right? But until he draws Galacrond, this is just going to be a constant source of irritation for him. Sif might be able to play this like old school Paladin, generating 2 minions every turn, and just trying to get it done the very slow, grindy way. I mean, you can see the key cards in hand. We know what they are. But he also knows that anytime he leaves up a minion and Alex's, that 15 damage can be massively healed by Apotheosis straight back. He doesn't care. He is just going in. Apotheosis isn't that much relative to how much damage this is. And your opponent has to have it. And he has to take care of the Alex. And you've got the weapon. And sometimes you'll have Zephyrus on your side as well. You've got Kronks for damage. This is the moment Sif's chosen to go for it. Is it going to work out for him? There's a lot of factors in his favour. You generally wouldn't expect it to pull through. You can see that it's going to be super close. Holy Smite, perfect usage there. Gains the 5, but that's the end of the Apotheosis. Wow. It's actually not, but it can be dealt with so easily. 17 health. What can we see in hand? We can't see it in hand with because of mana, but there's 3 from the Netherwing, there's 5 from the Kronks, there's quite a lot, up to 10, depending how you look at it, from Zephyrus, 5 from the weapon. The damage is all kind of set up, but it's non-trivial how to do it. Netherwing seems pretty good here, except there's no dragon in hand, so actually it's rubbish. You don't want to let another 5 points of healing come. So you do need to kill this off remotely. Which is no issue. You can see Fate Weaver dies to almost every card in her hand from Sif here. What's always nice when you're playing against Priest is when you get to this scenario where your Priest opponent starts to run out of cards. And seeing Blue down to just 5 cards, plus you have the ability to make 2 1/1s every turn. And they do chip away, eventually. Eventually the Priest just can't deal with the onslaught unless it's got its own Galacron to make some minions. But Sif kind of doesn't have forever. There's only 7 cards left, so it's not urgent hurry, but he can't be fiddling around forever with these minions. And obviously, I'm afraid I don't think I can work out what card he needs to draw, but there's 2 of them in his deck, and he only has 6 cards left, and that will then activate the Zephyrus and the Alexstrasza. Let's have a look, see if I can identify anything obvious that's going on. Oh, have we seen Maniac yet? Like, this is the worst thing I could possibly be trying to do, but hey, let's try and do it anyway. Veiled Worshipper, I think we've seen, but that might have been. Oh, it's the Moab. We haven't seen the Moab yet. Pretty sure. Draws a Moab, everything goes yellow. Look at how great this commentator is. Worked it all out. And actually these are some pretty handsome dragons to pick up. Having to destroy those eggs is a big deal. Again, can just about deal with this board, but it'll be the last one just by virtue of that stolen Plague of Flames. And even then he can't kill it all. This is starting to look like the Warlock's going to get this done. Yeah, he's squirming here. This is just a horrible scenario. And we can see there's so much more to come, but only 5 cards left in the deck, so Blue's going to be forced to go all in, but the upwards look is often the sign that someone's about to do something a little bit unpredictable. Okay. He's going to take a lot of damage. He has the Zephyrus. Can he force a lethal? He can indeed. Even Zephyrus can't get this one wrong. Just see what it offers anyway. We'll never know what the other options are, because the Fireball is enough for lethal damage. And the Gallopon Warlock levels the scores at 1 apiece. It's going to make things pretty interesting from here on in. Blue still has left his Rogue and of course his Demon Hunter, which he will just try and ram straight down the Warlock before the Warlock has time to stabilise. Sif does have his Warrior left. Even if he loses this game, he will have the Warrior not only counter Q, but also will finish off with a Warrior versus Rogue match in theory. So still give IG a slight advantage in this one, which is always going to be the case. I just prefer Warrior to Demon Hunter, and not just because it wins the head-to-head. I just think it's the better deck. Sif already got quite a headache here. Wondering what to keep. I think Plague of Flames is just good enough. In the ideal world, he'd get rid of it all and draw Dark Skies, but actually holds on to a Devoted Maniac. There are a lot of things in Demon Hunter that have 2 health. But this is going to be difficult. I want to see how this pans out. Very interested. Good thing really, because it's my job to see how it pans out. So if I was bored out of my brains, I probably would need to look for a different job. Well, Blue's going for a decent progression here. He's just wondering whether to Chaos Strike and draw another card. It's interesting. Umberwing does protect him, but he had no real use for the weapon there. Wants to get it equipped before turn 5 though, so he can make use of the Adept without breaking his stride. Sif, like all good control Warlocks do, just pretending the opponent doesn't exist and just happily injuring himself in the light of all the danger that's coming towards him. Now Blue sets up the Umberwing. Attacks first, notice. Actually, he didn't attack. He attacked first. So he gets both uses on the weapon. That means he can attack next turn if need be, and on turn 5. And still get the Adept use. Obviously now he has the Twin Strike as well, so he can attack for a long time. That's a big deal. We're learning more and more about Demon Hunters still as a class, but when you freeze them and stop their ability to attack, bad things happen to Demon Hunters, so the converse of that is always make sure you have a way to attack if possible. And Sif was hoping that this turn he'd just Dark Skies away a massive board, get a load of value and move on with his life. But he's facing down this. Like, it's a laughable set of enemy minions. You don't want to clear these out, you just want to laugh at them. That's what he's doing, he's just laughing, ha ha. Doesn't take the value trade though, I don't think. And that's because it's so easily picked up by the weapon. You need to get rid of the 2-2. But he's saying to Blue, you know, I can take this sort of damage. I've got Moag and Nether Breath coming my way. I'm alright. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to force me to use my removal? Because at the moment you're not scaring me. And this is the control versus aggro debate that happens every single time control and aggro decks meet. The aggro deck's trying to force the control deck to use its removal spells as cheaply as possible without blowing up too much. And the control deck's saying, nah, you've got to overstretch. I want you to overstretch. I want to get so much out of my removal spells that you cry when I play them. And in this game, both players are on that tipping point. And the health total is sort of on the tipping point too. 18. It's getting there, but it's not terrifying by any means. So, finely balanced indeed. But Sif has so far resisted the urge to use his removal spells. And notice that Maniac actually has turned out to be very, very good. The way the Devoted Maniac worked out. It's done a lot of work if you count the subsidiary damage. But does end up having to Dark Skies a load of nothing here. He was ready for this. So this is the Moag into another Breath turn. Briefly just checked the Dark Skies there, you saw in the hand. But the 2-4 is actually relevant in this situation a lot of the time. Already discussed, there's a lot of 2 health minions, so you need to hold back the Mag for the situation he was just in to get the healing. But there's no problem with then using it as a minion that is actually of some use as well. But now he's on 17, he's got a handful of stuff. Plenty of removal, enough removal. And this is the last throws of the dice here from Blue, really. Well, there's no scoundrel in the deck, he's really the dice thrower in the Demon Hunter community. Lots of damage, but very all in. And if Sif can find a good turn out of this, and it looks like he can looking at the hand, it might just be okay. Let's do with some taunt. Obviously, opposing Kane would be a big deal. Demon Hunter looks like he's going to get over the line suddenly. But Moag Artificer picked up and no lethal available for Blue. That means that Sif's going to be able to heal back up for another 8. And he is in charge of the board now. Kind of, not quite. Okay, that's all of it. He knows exactly what he's up against. And picks up the Sack Pact. Just in case this wasn't enough. This will be. Here's one of the issues of playing against Demon Hunter as the Warlock. So if you're the Warrior against Demon Hunter, you get to do the same sort of things, killing their board, blah blah blah, but you do get to put some pressure on. And so as soon as a Warrior you get in front, you just kill the Demon Hunter. But as a Warlock, as a Galacon Warlock, you can see here what's happened is Sif's gained control, but Blue still has 2 or 3 more turns, 1 or 2 more turns anyway, to draw that skull and get back into the game. So this is why Warlock and Warrior aren't the same thing, I guess is what I'm saying. Because all the time here, Blue has just been chipping away at this health total. He's got plenty of health to use as of his own, and that's allowing him to get damage in. And again, just good ordering on the attack there. Wants the Underwing to go face. There's no point going into a 1 health minion. Now, Sif just has to think this turn what he wants to do. Believe he'll just trade away the board here and play all the dragons unless something nasty happens. The perfect dragon for the job. And yeah, you see from Blue's reaction, but it's obvious to anybody that Sif's going to now win this game. Even to me. I'm calling it. Oh, I'm not calling it. It's Demon Hunter. Skulls do things. It's a skull! Yeah, but what's it going to do? Seriously. That's 4 damage. A cane might have made that interesting. Wait. Is there a lethal? Is there... I know it's a bajillion to one shot, but only 6 can go face. He can shoot face for 4. That's still not enough. Even if he hit 6 1 in 5 shots in a row to the face, it wouldn't be enough. There's just no way of getting rid of this bone dragon thing. And that's just going to be the end of it, I think. I don't think. I know. You can see it's the end of it. That's going to leave him with just 1 class left. And it's Rogue, which has not been the best of performers. I don't know if that's an understatement or not. But Sif has been very, very steady. I've enjoyed watching this so far. Skeletal dragon is bone dragon thing. Usually I blame the somewhat iffy Chinese translations, but that one's on me. So 2-1 down. Rogue has to beat the Galacon Warlock, and then, should it overcome the Warlock, has to find a way through the Warrior. Sif looking in a very good spot, and also looking strong. We haven't seen much of Sif around, so we'll be learning about him. We'll be playing another game this week. They all play 2 games per week. But very well measured so far. Seems to have had a plan. Very weird looking keep when he killed that maniac, but we saw how it worked out for him. And clearly pretty comfortable with playing the Warlock. Should he take this game, it would be an amazing deck to sweep with. Definitely not what I was expecting. And a lot of the removal lines up very nicely to take care of the rogue cards, but at the moment just has the Netherwing. Goes a Maniac though. Getting Galacron slowly but surely advanced. Yeah, okay. He is considering whether to take the value trade or get rid of the first half of the shot, but I think because it's buff, you get rid of the first part of the shot bot, but he disagrees. See how Blue's plans work out for this. Looking like he's in a hurry. Redrawing there as well now. Even to the point where he wants another spell. Just looking for good stuff, because he hasn't found much good stuff yet. No secret to go with his stunner. Flick's going to be a big deal though. Imps don't like flicks. And all the time, by the nature of Warlock, the health total ticking down, but this time feels a little bit better controlled than it did for the Demon Hunter. Although Sif still just has a pretty terrific hand, to be honest. Double Shadow Weaver is... it's just a big deal. It's just good tempo on top of the fact it's going to slow his opponent down. But this Amet is going to be bothersome because Sif just doesn't have the removal at the moment. Something interesting about Sif is he seems to be enjoying it. I think all players enjoy the competition. They enjoy what comes from winning. They enjoy looking back at their careers and their results, but not everybody actually enjoys the heat of the exact moment. Can I win this game of Hearthstone? You know, you see salty slow claps and that sort of thing as the Plague of Flames is picked up. But Sif sees a challenging turn and seems to relish it. And that's good to see. If you can have that mindset, and it's just not easy to do, you can avoid tilt so much more easily just by enjoying what's happening whilst being a part of it. It can also keep nerves at bay. We'll see more of him as the league unfolds and see if that assessment's correct, but I do get the impression he's just genuinely enjoying playing some Hearthstone and playing it at the highest level, which is definitely more than at this exact second in time you can say about Bleau. Wow. And this works out so well with the other one being in hand. And I don't think he really wanted to do it, to be honest, but that's worked out nicely. Until double Netherwing. It's hard to know if Sif has enough to be able to push. Still 17 cards left, so the Zephyrus is not going to be active for some time. But he's still managing to keep hold of the board. And level 2 Galacon, it's tempting. Yeah, he's going to possibly just throw it out there. He'd love it to be level 3 because that would be just game winning, but maybe 2's enough, especially the fact it heals you. Take your chance with 2 demons. Oh, Kronks makes that even better, but he's in no hurry. Why would you be in a hurry? He's on a full lot of 10 health. Warlock players, a constant sort of amazement to me with the fact they just know metagames so well, they're just not scared to go. See what these 2 cards are going to be, though. 0 mana is going to be a big deal. Yeah, nothing too useful there. Ambush and Miscreant, but when you're Galacons, Miscreants are just no longer required, although obviously it could still push some good damage here. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's make some Galacond. Some big things. First of all, though, there's a small matter of sorting out these secrets to deal with. Alright, he's going. It's go time. Galacond's bringing some friends to this party, and they are... I've seen better friends. Satyr is going to be quite useful. Generate another 2-2. But overall, even though this would be pretty meh against most classes, unless Bleau can find like a second Phantom Knives or something, he's going to eat a lot of damage. Yeah, going face here, making another 2-2, getting 5 damage in, just seems right. And challenging the rogue deck to clear this up, and this is going to involve, I was going to say going to involve an army of minions, but actually it's just going to involve a Kronks. That might be enough. Both players seem to have been between 10 and 20 health for a really long round of time, but it's only turn 9, it's not that long. This back and forth has been kind of amusing. Chance to use Kronks again next turn. Bleau doesn't want to pass that up. Willing to have a poor turn this turn to enforce that ability. Has he added this up as lethal? I think he has. Another breath going to finish it off. Secret resolves. But that is going to be it, Sif. A superb display on this Galacond Warlock, taking this down 3-1, and IG going to a positive record in the Gold Team League here in China.